have
No?
very diverse classrooms, especially in ex-Soviet Union area. We can have 5 or 6 nationalities at one time in class.
Different
Those
religions?
are, yes, different religions.
Christian,
Muslim,
Muslim.
Christian.
We don't pray, but there is a subject, religious subject in our...
You study religion?
We don't study religion.
At all?
At all, no. We can just study culture and different religions, but not really as a subject.
So religion would be part of that, a part of a cultural study, I would guess.
Yes.
Right? If you're in the classroom, let's say you're in your classroom right now, and one of your students misbehaves, does something, a boy stands up or he throws a piece of paper. I don't know what they do in your countries, but probably the same things.
Usually
What do you
have
do?
classroom rules.
No, what do you do?
If the students set their classroom rules themselves, they usually follow it. But we prefer also not to pay attention during the class time, and we talk about it later when during the break.
So you would wait until later on, and
Yeah.
then what would you do?
Just talking is enough in most cases.
Would you ever physically discipline? Would you ever paddle the child? Or?
Never.
No? No?
No, in our country,
No?
students are too much submissive, so they they don't do like that, and they obey us very much. We have some values classes and some.
No, in our school, in our country, students feel rather free at the lesson. Of course, even they can stand up and come up to the teacher, and they work a lot in groups, just as here in America. And I think there is no such a problem. Bad behavior. It depends on the teacher at first and how he leads the lesson. So, of course, if you see that something's wrong, you should change the plan. Or if nothing works, then you can come up to the student or ask him to come and speak in a whisper after the lesson. So usually we don't have such a serious problem.
I'm getting the idea from all three of you that discipline is not really a problem. That's at least one of the least of your problems, right? You don't have a lot of problems with
Maybe
students.
only those teachers who have huge classes, like
Yes.
80 or pupils at a time.
Like yours?
Yeah.
Too many students?
But I suppose there must be some strategies to deal with them.
The fact that you have a lot of students, though, doesn't
I
seem
have
to
a lot of students, but we can manage them very easily. They are too much submissive, I think. I tell like that. And sometimes I am working with girl students. Usually girls are too much quiet and calm, so we are not getting so many difficulties. But I know about our boy students. They are not doing any misbehave with the teachers.
But boys are...
Sometimes they, if they do something, then we invite their parents and meeting with them. And
teacher conference, we call that. Conference
and
with the
let
teacher.
them know and try to manage him or any way.
Just the same, if there are serious problems, they do exist sometimes because family problems and so a lot of reasons. Then you can ask the parents to come to school and even to speak to a principal. But usually these meetings are just private, you can see. Not a lot of people take part in them, and not a lot of people know about them.
And after the meeting happens with the parent, that usually solves the problem?
Well,
Both teachers
usually,
and parents both will engage to manage the problem.
But usually that works. Or do you find that you have repeat students or repeat problems?
as a rule, it works because we work out our strategy in behavior with this, in relations with this student.
You've been traveling in America. Tell me, each of you, one thing that you've seen that you've said, I can do this in the classroom, or this will work with my students, or this is a good idea I can adopt. Anything come to mind that you've seen?
Yes, I like the way how they diversity in their classrooms, because we visited one school where students from many different cultures and countries as well come here, and they cope with it very well. This, I thought that I can do this in my classroom as well.
And that is a challenge for you, because you
Yes.
said earlier you were talking
Sometimes it is, because we have two languages of instruction in our school, Russian and Uzbek, and those students do not communicate well. And they can even sit separately in the canteen, then can have problems, even fighting.
In my country,
yes,
I kept one thing. Summer camp is very most interesting to me. I liked it very much, and I am thinking I will do like that. Sometimes I arrange some programs in my school and my region, some different things. Those I collect from different places. Like this, I will do something in our summer vacation for our weaker students. We are suffering from these very problems. In a class, maybe 10 or 20 students is faster, but more students are weaker. So then we can do something for them in that summer camp, and they're using materials. It attracted me. We can use some materials to develop their English learning, because English in my country, English is a foreign language. So it is very difficult. There is no environment to English learning. There is no speaking environment, listening environment. So we can use some materials to develop their English learning.
I would guess that learning English is important, though.
Yeah, of course. We are in 21st century,
right.
And for globalization, it is very essential to communicate with each other, with other country people.
And I think it should be taught as a second language already, because we still teach it as foreign language.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. And are the English language classes are actually taught in English, I presume, right? Completely.
Yes, and for me also work in the summer camp, because we have something like this, but the fact is that there is an education reform in our country, and in 2008 education will last for 12 years for each student. I think that like in your country, in this country, in America, yeah. And there are 4 terms now, and according to the new program, education program, there will be 5 terms and summer term. And they also advise teachers to, the education, Minister of Education, to organize such summer camps. And experience and what I saw here, I think it's very useful for me and for my teachers.
How do the politics in your country affect doing your jobs in the classroom? I mean, are there political dangers? Are there political concerns that you have to be careful to teach a certain way or not teach a certain way? Does that question make some sense, I hope?
The fact is that Kazakhstan is a lot of nationalities live here. People of more than 130 nationalities live in my country, and of course we should be very patient to people of different cultures, and we should respect cultures of other people. And this is what we should pay much attention to, because otherwise there would be fights at first between the students, then between adults, and we are lucky that Kazakhstan as a country is one of the countries of the former Soviet Union where there are no national problems. And this is one of the main ideas we should keep in our minds and in the students' minds.
Also true.
Yes, but I would like something to add. Maybe sometimes some political situations can definitely affect our teaching, because if there are some political problems, then there are less international organizations, and therefore there are less funding, less volunteers, native speakers who regularly help us with that.
In Bangladesh?
Our country is very new, you know. So we are facing facing some problems like that. Sometimes there are hortal days. It hampers to teach in our classes, but we then we do in our holidays, we do work. And another thing is that our after 5 years our government has changed. We faced that one government makes some rules, some circulars we get from them, and after 5 years it would be changed.
Right.
Then
New
new
government comes in, new
government
rules.
come and they give us some new rules.
Well, that
Some
happens
new
everywhere.
curriculum, some new curriculum they created. Then our teachers are always suffering this very new curriculum also. They are not getting much training, but a new curriculum sent to us, and we have to teach in classes. This is the main problem.
In Uzbekistan, are there teachers who leave to go teach in another country because the benefits are better, or because, is that a problem? Do you lose teachers, good teachers, to other countries anywhere?
I don't think so. Teachers, people just give up teaching because of low salaries. That's
They burn out. We call it burnout in this
Yeah.
country. Burnout as well. Same thing.
Well, maybe yes, and there is another problem, maybe just the tendency that a lot of people go to Russia because they see that conditions for teachers are better there. Then it's on the one hand. On the other hand, not all citizens of Kazakhstan know the Kazakh language, and we suppose that it could be a problem. So that's why some teachers go with their families, of course, to Russia, but usually because of the low salary.
And in Bangladesh, do you lose students to, teachers to other countries?
I think not in secondary level, but in university level, most of the teachers are coming in abroad. They are getting maybe good salary and good facilities in George Mason University, in Washington and Cambridge and other universities. Many Bangladeshis are teaching there, but I think they are our energy, our power, but they are doing for another country.
Well, I know this is
maybe not giving them very good opportunities, so they are coming here.
I know that there's the problem in the medical profession, and I wondered if it was also true with teachers, because we have a large demand for teachers in the United States. You know, we constantly have openings and looking for people to come teach, and if you can speak the language and you've got the proper credentials and education, well, it could be a major change moving to this country. Any of you want to stay behind while you're here?
Not really.
Where do you go after Alabama?
We are going back to
Nebraska and then
to Nebraska.
Nebraska?
To Nebraska, and
To the
from
final
Nebraska we
conference.
will depart for our country.
in Nebraska there will be a final conference. At first we were in Washington, we stayed there for 3 days, and then one group went to Nebraska, we to Alabama, and the third group to I don't remember that.
Birmingham.
Birmingham. Delighted to have you with us. Thanks so much for coming by Alabama Public Television and
Thank you very
for
much
talking
for
with
inviting
us. And I hope that you will enjoy the rest of your stay in America and remember us when you go back home.
And on behalf of the teachers, I would like to thank Alabama Public Television and Governor of the State of Alabama to give us honorary citizenship. And we are very, very great. We are very happy with all American people. After coming America, we see all Americans are very much helpful, very much friendly. We are enjoying very much.
And
You're
we have a lot
you're
to
most
take
welcome.
home.
Good to have you here. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'm Tim Lennox. That's been Alabama Public Television's For the Record Face to Face.
Little shops where you can get homemade ice cream are some of the best places in America. We're going to look at ice cream from Cape Cod to LA. We'll learn some history and even go to an ice cream collectors convention. So grab a pint or two and get ready for an ice cream show.
Monday night at 10 on APT and APT HD.
Public markets are an
tremendous toll that the flames have taken on one Lake Tahoe family.
It looked like a tornado of flames. The roar of it, you could hear it. It was so close.
So close to Molly and Van Marshall's home, they had 10 minutes to escape.
Was trying to grab everything I could, our important papers, and I have 3 little dogs. When I pulled out of the driveway, it was raining fire on us.
Within 24 hours, the swift-moving inferno accomplished its chilling destruction.
Some of these areas were open today.
But the Marshalls' personal nightmare was only beginning. They allowed us to go back home with them for the first time.
It's like a death in the family. We're bewildered.
First, Molly and Van sifted through the home where they raised 2 boys.
That's my stove. We hadn't put it in yet, and the refrigerator, I don't even see the refrigerator.
Then they took us to scorched land just behind where for 2 years Van had been building their dream home.
And this is part of Van's tools.
They were weeks away from moving in.
But you built the house for me, and I'm so sorry that it's...
I'll build you another one.
The loss is overwhelming. The Marshalls now facing not just rebuilding 2 homes, but 2 lives.
I have to call the utilities. I have to cancel my newspaper, which sounds crazy.
What they're about to face is the hard process of figuring out everything that they've lost, reporting everything.
The Red Cross's Jenny Carrick and others at this Disaster Assistance Center help families with everything from getting new driver's licenses and places to live, getting help paying for it all.
The building department can answer.
These workers have been helping families in wildfire-ravaged cities all over the West. Federal officials say more people are now living in traditionally wildlife areas. They say nationwide, wildfires have already burned at least 590 homes this year, and that if this pace continues, this may be the most destructive fire year of the decade. What are you realizing now that you've lost?
Oh gosh. Not only our memories, but our families. Pictures that I didn't get out, you know, things that belonged to our great-grandparents.
At a time in life when the Marshalls and their friends had planned to retire, they're suddenly starting all over again.
Sorry, yeah.
Cara Finstrom for CNN, Lake Tahoe.
And we couldn't let you go without telling you what one of the new wonders of the world is. Petra in Jordan, that famous carved city. According to the Associated Press, it is now one of the new wonders of the world. Taj Mahal apparently also made the list. We'll keep checking on it for you. Here's Lou Dobbs.
Tonight, the GOP rebellion over President Bush's conduct of the war in Iraq grows. One of the Republican Party's most senior senators calls for a change in strategy. And rising anger over President Bush's decision to commute the prison sentence over Scooter.
Recently has had some awful stories out of China.
But our government has taken some part to develop our girls students. They are giving some stipend. They are giving other facilities for girl students, but parents are not too much awarded yet. They are thinking maybe we will not find better husband for, so we have to put him to in-laws house.
In Kazakhstan, who makes more money, a carpenter or a teacher?
So not a teacher, of course.
Not the
Not the
teacher?
teacher.
The carpenter makes more money? Because in America, we always say that plumbers make more money than teachers
Well, it
do.
depends, of course. It depends on the teacher and on his qualification, on the subject he or she teaches. Because I'm the teacher of the English language, and I have the salary with the state gives to me, and I can I have an opportunity to work at home and to have private lessons.
Okay. So you make money on the side, basically.
Yeah.
How about in Bangladesh? Who makes more money, a carpenter or a teacher, with the equivalent experience?
Carpenter and teacher. Teachers are very, I think they are not getting their, they wanted, they're wanted, they are not getting.
Poorly paid?
Yeah.
Poorly paid?
Mostly.
And in Uzbekistan?
We have the same situation, but we have a good opportunity of giving private lessons and work for another companies after our school, after school.
In getting ready to talk with you today, I did a quick Google search online and under the word teacher and just looked at some of the international news stories of the last few days. And over and over and over again, there was one word that I saw almost everywhere, almost in every country, the word strike.
Strike.
Do you have the right to strike for higher wages or for benefits? Yes, yes?
Yes, we do, but we don't use it.
Why not?
We don't use it. It's a kind of cultural matter. Our people stay passive and tend to keep silent even when they face very big problems.
How about in Bangladesh?
We striked several times, and we are getting gradually some better amount.
So
and facility.
in Kazakhstan, I think there is no necessity to strike because our president has raised the salary of the teachers this year, and if I'm not mistaken, last year. But of course, it became higher. Frankly speaking, yes. But if we take into consideration the economical situation of the whole country, the prices are becoming higher too. But still, we can't say that our government does nothing. Yes, they are trying to improve the situation in education. They are trying to make our salary higher.
Are teachers respected as a career? And I'll start again in Bangladesh. Are teachers looked at as professionals and considered people who are honored?
Honored. They are honored. This is the only satisfaction to us that we are honored. And I think our fight against the public schools and non-government schools. Some of the public schools teachers are getting better facilities, but we are not getting. So we fought and we are getting, and now we are getting 100% initial salary, but the house rent and some medical facilities, these are not like them.
In Uzbekistan also?
It's also like this, and it's an honorable profession, but none of my students wants to be a teacher.
What do they want to be?
Most of them are usually enter the University of Diplomacy. Our program is we just prepare them for entering this university, or to international universities as well. For business,
specifically what, business careers?
Yes.
Because they think that's where the money is?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds familiar. I think I've heard that before.
We've got much in common with Uzbekistan. Of course, people respect teachers and people of this profession, but not a lot want to become teachers because it's a very difficult profession and it's not highly paid. And that's why the majority want to become lawyers or businessmen or so, but not teachers. If the salary becomes high, I think the situation will change.
I saw another thing I saw in my little Google search earlier today was that teachers are needed everywhere. There was a story out of India that said 500 teachers needed immediately for this, and here 600 here and all. If you're in demand so much and there's such a demand for teachers, why aren't the salaries higher? Why aren't you all paid more than that? Seems like you should be.
Well, it depends on the country and the situation in the country, I suppose. It's not impossible to improve everything immediately. I mean, the salary of the teachers, the salary of the doctors, and so on and so forth. Well, but we should hope.
Really, our problem is a large population. In a small country, there are large population, so many students, so many teachers. Government is not taking is very easily.
One of the big issues in America, in education, in public education in America, is the issue of prayer in schools. Do you pray with your students in your classrooms?
No.